A first-team All-Pro from 2010. He has been selected to the Pro Bowl in each of his first 3 years, and he represents USC in the 8-1-8 as well as the Green Bay Packers. They wrapped up the regular season 15-1. They are the top seed in the NFC. They've got a first-round bye. Clay Matthews joining me. Clay, great to have you back. How are you?
Doing well, Jim. Always a pleasure.
Clay, you too. Really nice to have you back. All right, so you didn't play Sunday against the Lions, and you were not the only starting player to get that game off. Hey, Clay, where do you come out? I mean, do you need that rest that time of year, or are you concerned that you might lose some of your edge if you don't play that final game?
Well, I think we just have to be smart with the whole situation. Obviously, we came out there to win, and that's exactly what happened. Unfortunately, we were able to get a win with the players we had in, but it's difficult being on the sidelines and watching your team struggle at times. But like I said, you have to be smart heading into the playoffs because the ultimate goal is winning that Super Bowl, and we'd hate to have a setback.
Clay, you probably had some confidence in Matt Flynn. Did you have the confidence that he could go out there and throw for 6 touchdowns and 480 yards?
I don't think anyone first saw that. I mean, he was definitely a fantasy sleeper right there, but it's pretty amazing. He made himself a lot of money with that game, so I'm happy for him. He got a shot, and it just goes to show the talent we have and the depth we have here.
It goes to show the talent you have and the depth that you have there, and then some would even say it goes to show that the system you have there. Personally, I think that's garbage. I think that's crap. I think that Aaron Rodgers is going to be a Hall of Famer, but I know you've heard that before. You see, that's why Drew Brees is the MVP, because he's a system guy. What's your reaction to it?
Oh, that upsets me, and I know, talking about Aaron saying he's a system quarterback is unbelievable. I think we've all witnessed what he's been able to do, especially look at last year in the playoffs against Philly, at Atlanta, at Chicago. There's no system involved with that. The guy's a monster, and you're right, he will go down as one of the greatest of all time, and he's just getting started. So for people to say that, it's garbage.
Clay Matthews joining us on the show. Clay, I had Frank Gore on, and as you might expect, he's got a lot of faith in his team. He's got a lot of confidence in the 49ers. In fact, Clay, when he came on, he said that he felt that the Niners were the most complete team and the team to beat in the NFC. Let me get your reaction to that.
Yeah, I read about that, and that's fine. I mean, obviously heading into the playoffs, each team needs to have confidence in their own ability, but, ultimately we're the defending champs right now, and we're in a great position to move forward in this postseason and kind of move forward to where we want to be. And, ultimately if things shake down, we'll have an opportunity. But, with this week, we're going to let things play out and see who we got with this first round.
Clay, defensively, you guys have taken some heat this year, and you look at the numbers, and they don't look great. Do the numbers tell the entire story about the defense?
Well, obviously what you put on tape and on paper, defines your team. But at the same time, I think we're one of the last teams as far as giving up yardage per game. But one of the great things we're doing is we're getting turnovers. And when you have a quarterback like Aaron on our side of the ball, he's going to put points up on the board. So we just need to focus on kind of improving, with that yardage per game, the big plays, missed assignments, tackling, create those turnovers and give it back to our offense because we have no doubt they're going to put points on the board.
Clay, is it fair to say the defense is kind of a bend but not break defense? And if that's the case, can you win a Super Bowl doing that?
I think so. Obviously we like to be playing, better throughout the year, but we need to be playing our best ball moving forward. And that's kind of been the case is just, holding them just enough to get the ball back, create those 3 and outs, those turnovers, and like I said, give the ball back to our offense. So as long as we can continue to do that and our offense continues to play the way they are, I don't think there's a doubt in my mind that, we can do something special.
Clay Matthews joining us. Clay, you've had such good success or so much success early on that opposing coaches are making you a priority. Every single team is going to look at that Packer defense and they're going to look at you and they're going to isolate you and try and find a way to stop you or take away what you do best. In fact, back in November, Charles Woodson said, we've got to find ways to get Clay to the quarterback. We cannot continue to allow him to be stuck on a side and double teamed every time he gets upfield. Do you think the team's done a better job of putting you in better spots?
Well, I think based on the scheme, there's times where, I'm going to have to play it honest, whether that means I line up in front of a tight end, I'm dropping into coverage, and I have my opportunities to rush the passer. So I just make sure, whenever they ask me or whatever they ask me to do, I'm going to be great at it. And that's kind of been the case this year and with our defense and the scheme that we're playing this year. So, yeah, the numbers may be down, but, I don't think that speaks for how I've been playing this year.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. The numbers are down, but how would you grade yourself this year as compared to last year? Do you think you had a better year this year or last year?
Well, there's no doubt in my mind that I'm playing, some of my best ball right now, and that's saying this is along with defensive runner-up last year. So obviously, sacks can be a little misleading. I'd love to have more, but the way I feel like I'm playing my all-around game is pretty good right now. So obviously, there's room for improvement, but I feel like I'm helping this defense each and every week.
Spending a few moments with Clay Matthews. Clay, everybody, you guys were so careful not to talk about going 16-0. Anytime I talked to you or any of your teammates, everybody said, look, we're worried about whatever the next game was. We're worried about 7-0, 8-0, 9-0. And there's always this sense that if it doesn't happen, then there's this relief, and then we don't need to worry about that, and we can just focus on the bigger goal. Was there anybody in that locker room that was relieved after the loss to Kansas City?
I don't think so. I think once you get to 13-0, you can kind of see the light at the end of the tunnel. We had a great opportunity. Unfortunately, we kind of slipped up, and the Chiefs played a heck of a game, and more power to them. But, at the same time, we were kind of sliding under the radar with all the talks of young quarterbacks around the league and other teams. We had one goal in mind, and that was to, finish this thing up unscathed. But, that didn't happen. So ultimately, what we play this game for is to get to that last game and ultimately be successful. So we have that in front of us, and that's what we're shooting for now.
Clay, you did that last year, and you and I spoke right after it happened. What was it like as a young guy? You spend your entire life working towards a goal, and you're singularly focused, and then you get there, and then you achieve it, and then you're a superstar. And I'm not going to say overnight, but all of a sudden you went to a totally different place, and then there are demands, and then there are focuses. How hard was it for you then focus on the goal at hand, and how did your life change after you won that Super Bowl?
I think I was too young to truly appreciate what we were able to do, especially the magnitude and what we were able to overcome last year with the injuries, having to win our last two and get into the playoffs and win every game on the road. But, now, to put it all into perspective, we did something special last year, and it's something that few people are able to accomplish. And, but I think it gives us that hunger to realize that, we've got a great team, even better than last year, and it's time to put it together and do this thing again. And, I think we're capable of it. And obviously, there comes more pressure and more expectations, but we revel in that. You look at the players on our team, we're ready for it.
I guess it's tough to say unless you get there, and you won't go beyond this week, but I wonder, would the second one be sweeter than the first one?
I think so. I think anytime you're able to, kind of run the table as back-to-back, Super Bowl champs, that's something pretty special, especially when everybody's gunning for you and giving you your best shot. So that would be, special, especially, to kind of continue the success we've had with this organization and the players. So, but back to, being politically correct, we got to focus on this next week and move forward.
Yeah, I'll be politically correct, Clay, when I remind you that back in October when Terrell Owens had a public workout, he did it at Calabasas High School, not Agora.
No doubt. Yeah. Well, you know what? We're just keeping it in the 818. I felt good about that. Where he was working out. I feel like maybe he didn't get the shot with the Calabasas Coyotes. Should have come over to Chargers territory. Probably would have got a shot. Could be with the Green Bay Packers now. You never know.
I doubt that. I think he knew exactly where he was going. He went to the higher profile school where he'd get the most PR and the greatest possibility for a scout to see him.
Home of Jim Rome. There is no greater school in the 818, so I'll let you take this crown.
Clay Matthews. Clay, thank you very much. Great to have you on. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot.
Take care.